So the next song is Left Behind. Everyone with abandonment issues is going to be triggered by that title. So everyone is going to be triggered by that title. Are you ready?
Yes.
Yes. Hey, don't start playing. It started playing. It played 2 seconds. We're fine. Stop playing.
He's like, it's on the other song.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Probably one of the least disturbing songs on this album.
Yeah.
It makes sense. It's pretty clear what it says. It has a pretty straightforward structure.
Yeah.
Did you feel like you need a bit of sanity to overcompensate for the previous song?
No. No, I'm very comfortable with the previous song.
Okay. Feels like you're talking about how one's circumstance usually disconnects them from their own agency, wherever they'd wish to go, makes them sort of miss their moment at a specific point in time. Why take it first from a child's perspective and then from an adult's perspective?
Yeah. So the song started musically. It started with the first dun, 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 thing. And it started because we'd written for V already. Mm-hmm. So we'd done like the whole Zebekiko thing. And then at some point I was like, Rodrigo, give me a Brazilian rhythm. And which of course always horrifies Rodrigo because he's like, no, samba. And I'm like, I didn't ask for a samba. Just give me a Brazilian rhythm. And he's like, okay, here's a forró rhythm. I'm like, thank you. So we started out with forró. And so we all listened to forró music and read up on it. And we were like, okay, so this is basically a style of music that represents the people, meaning like the working class, yada, yada, yada. And this is like the music that represents and expresses them. And it tends to be very socio-politically aware of itself and do commentary and yada, yada. And there's like an idea or whatever that it started initially on plantations and stuff. So we're like, fantastic, we're going to start with forró. And then we're going to go, like, what other style of music is extremely similar to this? Not sonically, but in its role. And we're like, okay, blues. Cool. So we're going to go from a forró rhythm into a chorus that's going to be blues. And ideally, the forró's not going to sound like forró, and the blues isn't going to sound like we suddenly became a blues band. It's all going to sound like metal, and it'll be fine. And then we were like, all right, so because of that, both those two things are going to be relatively sparse. So we need something dense to connect them. And we're like, okay, so within metal's existence, what is the genre that embodies this best? And it's thrash, because thrash is always very socio-political and very aware and very much working class.
Yes. I feel like this had the most straightforward thrash riff and drum beat I've ever heard in 8 Lives Down.
Yes. Yeah. So we're like, great, we're just going to go forró, thrash, blues. It's going to be fine. It's like, hoping 101. And so then we did that musically. And I wanted to write lyrics about something that... So I didn't want to write something working class because I didn't want to end up with Bruce Springsteen lyrics. Because as much as I love those songs and I love those lyrics, they don't fit well in the context of metal. Like, they're a bit absurd. So I'm like, what is an issue that I can take that affects the working class much more / affects poor people far, far more than other people, but affects absolutely all people and is a social issue. And I was like, ooh, let's do a song about ageism. So let's do that thing about like when you are in whatever group of humans and they're like, oh, you're just a child. You shouldn't voice your opinion because you're too young to know it. Bullshit. And then it's like you're an adult, but then like they're like, oh, you're behind the times and you don't understand and you're an asshole and you're an elitist and it's just all these other ways of doing the same behavior. And then when you're old, oh, now magically you're past your time and now you don't know what you're talking about. It's like, excuse me. This has been the same behavior the entire fucking time. Like, F all of you. You are assholes.
Yeah.
So I was like, great, let's do that. So let's basically talk about the way that people are excluded from the conversation and from their own lives and reality without having done anything by virtue of some factor that they absolutely do not control. Fun. Which is also why your chorus has the line defeated by our own condition. But yeah.
Ta-da! That makes a lot of sense. I really like the concept. So Forró, thrash, blues.
Yeah.
I've heard you talk a lot about taking music from other genres and making it metal and how that often doesn't work, particularly to pop songs that are done metal covers of, and the metal covers have the driven guitar and the screams, but they still sound pop. How do you negotiate? I feel like this kind of worked. Like with everything in 8 Lives Down, I also feel like everything that doesn't work is intended to not work.
Yeah.
How do you negotiate to take these and put them to metal and be like, okay, this here, it does work?
Yeah. So for me, so music is a conversation between different voices. And it's less to do with what each voice is doing independently and more to do with how they are conversing. So let's say, if someone takes a pop riff and just slaps distortion on it, it's still a pop riff. There's been no interaction, no conversation. It hasn't fundamentally been altered in any way.
So you don't feel like the sound texture is a relevant modification?
Not necessarily. Not necessarily, because for me, at least, metal is not the only genre of music that has that sound texture.
Okay.
So, because I could be listening to grindcore, or I could be listening to really, really hard EDM stuff.
Yeah.
With the same texture.
Tell me about it. I live in the Netherlands.
Yeah, and it's not like I'm gonna turn around and be like, oh my goodness, it's metal! Because it was distorted and because someone screamed. It's like, are you kidding me? Do you not have ears?
Yeah.
Like, it's not metal. So, so then the question is, what percentage of it did you take? So it's a percentage game. Yeah? 50-50 is the riskiest place you can live on.
Okay.
Because that's bang in the middle. The minute it goes past 50-50, it is that thing. So if it's more, let's say, pop, less metal, it's pop. Because pop is the dominant thing in the hybrid that we're creating. So it's not just about blending. It's about what ratio we're blending at. For me, the most stressful, the most musically stressful part was the forró part at the beginning. Like, that's the part where I'm like, I'm worried that it doesn't sound like metal. Which is also why we just have it twice. and it doesn't appear a third time. Because they're like, maybe let's not.
But you asked for the foho.
Yes, I did. But one needs to edit oneself and what one asked for. So yeah, like good starting point, but like Marcin tried to do the most over the fojo part because the drums and the guitar are going together and the bass is doing something completely irrelevant.
Irrelevant?
Well, in a way, it's doing a strange, weird counterpoint thing where you're like, which is fine in the room, like live. You're like, that totally makes sense. But then when you record it independently, if someone gets like the levels wrong on the bass, you're like, what's that? Kind of like Organize Your Mind from the previous album, where it's like, it makes total sense, but if you get the volume and the levels wrong and the relationships wrong, you're like, what is going on? This is not acceptable. This was not the intention. So if it's edited correctly, it works. And it's mixed correctly. This is mixed fine.
I think it's mixed
goodness.
fine.
Yeah.
I like it.
So do I. I love the mixing.
Okay. I think that's everything we have on Left Behind. And I think at this point, we're going to close the meeting again to keep things running smoothly. Thank you, humans who have fates, for watching. And if you enjoyed these reactions, and again, if you think my brother should be replaced, do let me know. And we'll see you back at the Windmill very soon. Corpses out.